The top 3 best Minecraft builders in the world are Toddpog, X90, and me? Let's start off by looking at Toddpog. Okay, get ready for this. This is actually gonna blow your mind. Look at this dude, this is unreal. Even up close, it just makes no sense. What makes you think, yeah, an end rod has to be here? Those brown candles are a necessity here. This whole build is just absolutely beautifully made. Now let's move on to X90. A similar style, but also impeccably done. Just detail that's on a whole nother level. I genuinely have no idea how you think of this stuff. And then there's me. Now hear me out. Let me present to you my best build. I spent a lot of time and effort on this build. It took me around a month in total to complete. Now, why does this build make me one of the top 3 best builders in the world? Well, it doesn't. Which is precisely why... Here's the idea. For the next 7 days, I will be reviewing and interviewing different pro builders, honing their abilities, and ultimately creating my own godlike build, which will be shown at the end of the video. So you'll want to stick around to see that. So for day 1, I decided to build something that I could compare day 7 with. You know, it's not bad. I built it within a few hours, so it wasn't anything too hard for me to complete. So I just want to spend the rest of day 1 looking at some pro builds to see if I can learn anything just by looking at them. Just by looking at this spawn, you can see how detailed the builders get. I would have never thought to use banners for a present. And if you're wondering what server this is, it's called The Bakery. It's where people like Shovel241, Snarple, and Stan616 build on.
That's the magical!
Anyways, take a look at this build right here. Look at that. Turtle eggs for teeth, redstone torches as eyes. This build is beautiful. 10 out of 10. After looking around for a while, I've noticed that these builds have a lot smoother gradients than the one I used on my build. And the details are just unreal. What is that? Is that SpongeBob? Even the detail on this is insane. Oh my god. This is incredible. I did not know SpongeBob could go this hard. And for the rest of day 1, I just kept looking at builds and writing down what I saw. And yeah. Alright, here we are on day 2. And I've compiled all the notes that I took from looking at pro builds yesterday. And here's what I learned. I've been seeing a lot of use of gates and walls specifically for shapes, so I wanted to do this little test. For example, if I asked you to build a circle, you'd probably build something like this. But if you mix in gates and walls, you can get such a smoother, round arc shape, which looks way nicer. Another example is this. I made 2 Venn diagrams and then connected the intertwining lines to make this cool little arc shape. Next up, I just want to do some stuff about gradients. Here I have a stone to black gradient, and if I just place the blocks in a line, it looks very flat and wouldn't look very good on a structure. So to get a more natural shape, I like to just practice scattering them around and giving each block a good balance. Another example is this red gradient, which I want to kind of make look like a drop of blood. So the light source will be coming from the top and pointing downwards, so the drop of blood will get light at the top and darker at the bottom. And you don't really want it stretching out the sides too far, because then it just won't look as realistic. And you can see the black glazed terracotta doesn't really look good, so I changed that block later on to better fit the gradient. And then the last thing I wrote down, this might be the most important part that I learned from looking at these builds, is that SpongeBob goes unreasonably hard. Now that we've gone through days 1 and 2, I just want to spend days 3 and 4 building based off of what I've learned so far. Starting with this. I just wanted to practice more with shapes with these unique blocks with the gates and the signs. You can see how weird it looks up close, but when you look at it from a distance, you can really see how it gets that smooth shape. And it comes out really nice. And then next up, I wanted to work on shading. And to do that, I built this, a little flower in a pot, and I used the glowstone to act as the light source. And I had this really nice gradient. And I didn't think this went too bad either. But then I also built this. Which, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I got some good use out of this. Moving on to day 5, I really wanted to prepare myself for the day 7 build. I want to get advice directly from the pro builders themselves. So I came up with an enticing message to send them, and I just threw it in the Discord to see if anyone would reply. After a few hours, I had not 1, not 2, but 3 whole replies, including one of which from X90, who built this. Here's what he wrote. Study references, learn building tools, learn color theory, profit. Okay, I think I got it. What do you guys think? Do you think I did good with this? In another reply by Spritzu, he explains how beneficial having a reference image is, which I can agree. Usually I always need a reference for a build that I'm working on. But I don't know about building huge anime girls. And the last reply by Mr. Matt Ranger, he talks about not worrying about the quality of builds, but just completing a build and trusting the process, just for good practice, which I can totally get. If my build isn't perfect within the first 10 minutes, I scrap it completely. Overall, this advice was really good for me to hear, so I'll see you guys on day 6. Now, after 5 days of absorbing the ingredients to concoct a beautiful build, I want to just make a mock-up test of my day 7 build, which will be based off my day 1 build. So to start, I think I just want to break this house off first, because I don't really like where it's positioned. And what I really want to do is accentuate this tree here. I just want to make it huge, and I want to make it connecting out of the skull, so directly from the top. And I'd want to make it big enough so that the branches are over the top of the houses, as well as just giving more foundation to the houses. Putting a little bridge here I feel like would look nice, I don't know, we'll test it. And then probably one more house right here. Something like this would look good, but I also just need to change the shape of the skull because it doesn't really look like a skull right now. But I needed to find a good reference for the tree. And so while looking around, I found this beautifully made tree. It has a very interesting block palette of birch saplings, wheat, and tall grass, but it comes out really nice when you look at it from afar. So after planning and preparing myself for the day 7 build, I think it's time to get on it. Man, I'm actually quite proud of how this turned out. Overall, do I believe this experiment proved to be successful? Yeah. What do you guys think?
In a club with some wines and